happens when speed meets perception? When a missile that moves faster than sound faces a radar dome that claims it can see everything, could the future of warfare be decided not by strength, but by who blinks first, the attacker or the defender? Welcome to ArmaForge, where we explore the science, strategy, and silent duels shaping modern defense. In this episode, we dive into a question that could define the next decade of security in the Indo-Pacific. Can Taiwan's new multi-layered defense system, the TDome, intercept China's hypersonic DF-17 missile? And if it can't, what does that mean for the balance between technology, time, and human limits? In recent months, Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense unveiled an ambitious project, the TDome, or Taiwan Dome, a digital shield designed to link radar, anti-missile systems, and satellite data into one synchronized defensive network. Its purpose is simple yet monumental: to build an invisible sphere of protection over the island, capable of detecting and responding to any aerial threat, from drones to ballistic missiles. But behind the technical language lies a race against something terrifyingly fast. A weapon that challenges the very laws of reaction time, China's DF-17 hypersonic missile. The TDome isn't a single weapon, it's an ecosystem. Picture a layered system: short-range interceptors protecting bases, medium-range missiles guarding cities, and long-range sensors watching the skies. At its core, the TDome integrates platforms such as Patriot PAC, 3MSE, Skybow 3, and locally developed machine radar units, combining them under a unified command grid. Each node talks to the other, passing data in milliseconds, a true web of sensors. The goal is clear: turn the island into a network that thinks faster than missiles fly. But here's the question: can data really outrun physics? Can an algorithm predict what a hypersonic glide vehicle might do next? To understand the scale of this challenge, we have to look at the adversary, the DF-17. First revealed in 2019 during China's National Day Parade, the DF-17 quickly became a symbol of technological ambition. It carries a hypersonic glide vehicle, or HGV, which separates from its rocket booster after launch, and then glides through the atmosphere at Mach 5 to Mach 10, that is up to 12,000 kilometers per hour. Unlike traditional ballistic missiles, which follow predictable parabolic paths, the DF-17's glide vehicle maneuvers unpredictably, weaving and dipping as it races toward its target. Analysts describe it as the ghost missile, visible for a second, gone the next, reappearing only when it's too late. Traditional radar systems can detect its according to open-source defense, it's first class taking out radar sensors, air bases, and command silos before defenders can even issue an alert. Here lies the first paradox: the more advanced your defense network becomes, the more tempting it is to neutralize it in the very first minutes of a conflict. If the DF-17 can glide just above radar horizon, evading long-range sensors, and striking before interceptors can reach it, can the TDome truly stand its ground? Taiwan's strategy depends on its philosophy of layered reaction. The TDome is designed to link U.S. and domestic systems through shared data: radar tracks from Aegis destroyers offshore, airborne warnings from E-2 Hawkeye aircraft, and real-time feeds from ground stations. The upper layer, long-range systems like Patriot, targets threats outside the atmosphere. The middle layer, Skybow 3, handles fast mid-altitude intruders. And the lowest layer uses rapid-fire interceptors and even directed energy concepts for final defense. On paper, it's elegant, a dome where every altitude has an answer. But the DF-17 doesn't play by those rules. It flies in the gray zone between layers, too low for space sensors, too fast for close-in defenses. It blurs the boundary between what radar can see and what human command can react to. So again, how do you defend yourself against something you can't fully track? Imagine this. It's 2:43 a.m. The island, radar nets pick up faint heat signatures, launches detected from deep inside the Fujian coast. Within seconds, TDome algorithms start calculating potential trajectories. Normally, a missile path would appear as a smooth arc across the screen. But this time, the tracks dance, breaking, dipping, reappearing at new angles. DF-17s are in flight. Command centers relay the data to interceptor batteries. Operators have less than 180 seconds to decide which targets to engage. One radar locks on, another loses track. The system hands over control to the next layer. A Patriot battery fires, its missile streaks upward, curving into the stratosphere. Then silence. Did it hit? Nobody knows yet, because by the time the intercept data returns, the second wave is already inbound. This isn't a battle of explosions. It's a battle of timing, milliseconds against Mach numbers. And somewhere between those two speeds lies the line between failure and survival. According to Focus Taiwan, Taiwan's response plan emphasizes mobility and deception. Instead of relying solely on fixed launchers, the island is dispersing mobile batteries, dummy radar sites, and inflatable decoys, forcing any attacker to waste precision weapons on empty targets. This strategy isn't about invincibility. It's about resilience, keeping the network alive, even when pieces fall. If one DF-17 slips through and knocks out a key radar, another node in the TDome grid takes over. If communications jam, autonomous software reroutes the signal through alternate lines. The idea is simple. Don't let any single failure break the chain. But here's the haunting question. What if the chain itself becomes too slow? What if hypersonic speed renders even the best coordination obsolete? Experts from the RAND Corporation and Jane's Defense describe this contest as a duel between time and intelligence. The TDome embodies the defenders' belief in coordination, that technology, teamwork, and data can outthink raw velocity. The DF-17, on the other hand, represents the attack that speed alone can collapse complexity. Which one defines the future? Imagine the first successful built sensors. What would that mean? It wouldn't just be a tactical victory. It would be proof that perception can still overcome speed. But if the DF-17 breaks through unhindered, it sends an equally powerful message that the laws of physics have outpaced the limits of defense. So the duel isn't about missiles or radars anymore. It's about the boundary between anticipation and reaction, between what we can calculate and what we can only hope to predict. In the end, the TDome versus DF-17 debate isn't just a military comparison. It is a mirror reflecting the evolution of modern conflict. Every shield inspires a sharper sword. Every faster weapon demands a smarter defense. And somewhere between the two, humanity learns again that security is not about who wins the race, but about who learns faster from running it. If the TDome can buy even a few more seconds of reaction time, that's not a small achievement. It's survival. If the DF-17 forces defenders to rethink radar and coordination, then it has already changed the landscape, even without being fired in anger. So, who truly wins in this duel? The network that sees everything, or the missile that moves too fast to be seen? As the lights of Taipei glow below and satellites orbit quietly above, both systems continue to evolve, each watching, each adapting, each waiting for a challenge that may never come. Perhaps the real victory is when technology pushes both sides closer to deterrence rather than destruction, when every advance in speed or detection becomes one more reason not to test it in combat. Because in the end, this isn't about who can strike first. It's about who can avoid striking at all. What do you think? If the TDome and DF-17 ever met in the skies, would sensors win over speed, or would velocity rewrite the rules of defense? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, this is a strategic simulation, not a prediction of conflict. Here at ArmaForge, we explore these scenarios to understand technology, not to glorify war. Subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden science of modern defense, where every question leads not to fear, but to awareness. Because sometimes, the future isn't about who attacks or defends. It's about who understands first.